YouTube, how you doing? My name is Jason, or some people call me the Shirt Father. How are you doing today? Before we get started, I want to make sure people can hear me. Teresa, I see you're in the chat. Can you hear me? Let's see. Hello. Laura, can you hear me? Hello. Smiley face. So I guess that means you can hear me. All right, so let's get started. So like I said, welcome to the channel YouTube. My name is Jason, otherwise known as the Shirt Father by some, and welcome to the relaunching of Print on Demand Mafia YouTube's channel. I started this about 8 months ago and had a different name, and some people had some issues with the name, so I thought I'd change it. Okay, I apologize. I'm going to be looking up and down at some of the notes I have. Today's episode is going to be on Etsy in the world of print on demand and how you can succeed on Etsy. Okay, there's some really good information here. If it's your first time here and you want to hear more about entrepreneurial lifestyle, print on demand platforms such as Etsy merch by Amazon, Shopify, Redbubble, and more, smash the like video and hit subscribe, and you'll get notified when the next video is up. All right, so what I wanted to do is talk about Etsy. Okay, as everybody knows, Etsy is mine and Monty World's, my partner's, wheelhouse. We love Etsy, and a lot of people have been experiencing frustrations, I would say, about slow sales and not being able to find their keywords and not really understanding what to do. And there's a reason for this. Okay, slow sales for us have been up and down. Also, I have 3 stores. I have a journal store, a niche store, and a digital product store. And also my wife has a legging store. Monty World has 3 stores of his own, and we seem to do pretty good. We've been doing good for the past year and a half, 2 years, even before the integrations happened. But to get on the subject of all the slow sales, what should we be doing different with our Etsy shops for Q4? I'm going to get to that. I want to get to why everybody's experiencing frustrations and slow sales on Etsy first. Okay. It all started back in 2016. First of all, before I get to that, if anybody tells you that they have the secret to Etsy and that there's a secret to the keywords, that's completely incorrect. Okay. Etsy is in a state of evolvement right now. And because of that, a lot of things have changed. And I'm going to tell you some things that some gurus won't tell you, and maybe some don't even know. Okay. Back in 2016, end of 2016, beginning of 2017, Josh Silverman, the Etsy SEO, bought an artificial intelligence system. Okay. And he wanted to institute what's called CSR, which is context specific rankings. I keep looking down at my notes because I don't want to forget some good information for y'all. And he started this at the beginning of 2017. And basically what it was is he wanted an artificial intelligence system to be able to see what customers really wanted. He didn't want to waste customers' time because he realized, the more screens a customer goes to, the less likely they are to buy anything, not just on your Etsy profile or store, but other Etsy stores. Okay. He had toyed around with CSR and the AI around the beginning of 2017, and then he scratched it. And here recently, he's picked it back up. That's why we've been dealing with issues like clumping and all sorts of keyword integration systems we've been doing. All right. Before, you could look up your own keyword, and let's say you were doing the dog niche. You could look up the dog shirt or dog mug, and you would be able to find your listing. Now, you may never be able to find your listing due to the CSRs. Okay, what CSRs is context specific rating. Basically, the new AI system is being designed and learning, and is going to spit back results that are most relevant to that customer. All right. Now, that's why you can't find a lot of times your listing, okay? It's most relevant results for each user, okay? So you can have the best Etsy SEO, okay? The best Etsy SEO. And some people are going to see you on page 1. Some people are going to see you on page 5 of their search. And some people are going to see you on page 15. All right. Laura, I'll get to that in just a second, okay? So your listings are going to show up differently depending on the customer that's searching for them, okay? And there's many different things that go into that, all right? Here, I wrote down some of them, all right? Some of them are their personal preferences they set on their Etsy, all right? Their search, what they've searched recently, their whole history of search history, the time of day, believe it or not, is a factor in this new CSR ratings, their location, their favorites, like if they've recently favored you or other people or stores that they're following, and also their purchase history. So you could, like I said, you could have the best Etsy SEO in the world, and some people are going to see you on page 1. Some people might not see you on page 15. And that's kind of difficult for us in the print-on-demand world and as entrepreneurs, because it's becoming more difficult to see where we rank. And it's very frustrating to people because people are doing what they've learned and what they know SEO-wise and still not seeing where they are. Now, there are things you can do to still check that, and we'll get to that in just a second. Etsy has even announced in the forums that pretty soon you won't even be able to find your own listings, period. And, and it kind of blows my mind, but they're saying that this whole CSR artificial intelligence system is designed to put products in front of the customers that they think will buy. And well, Etsy knows you're not going to buy your own products, right? And so that's why they're saying that you may not even get to search your own stuff and find it. Now, you're going to say, okay, let's go on incognito mode, right? Incognito mode, and if I'm logged out, Etsy will surely show me where I'm placing, right? No. The new AI system is logging things also by your ISP, okay? So they will know your IP information, and they will look at that and say, hey, we're not going to show him, if he's trying to look up a dog shirt, I love dogs t-shirt or a mug, and it's mine, it's not going to show me mine because it knows that I'm not going to purchase it. It's going to show me somebody else's mug or shirt with that same saying. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's kind of crazy, but it kind of evens the playing field. But how are we to see how our SEO is doing? One of the ways you can do it is through Etsy Rank, okay? Etsy Rank, on its free version, I suggest getting the paid version, but on their free version, you can see where your store or where you rank on a certain keyword or a certain keyword phrase. And I think that option is still available on the free version, okay? So you can do it on Etsy, all right? You can also look on your Etsy stats, all right? Your Etsy stats, if you go to stats and onto your Etsy and you've had some purchases recently, it will show you what your customers are searching for to find your products. There's also a screen in there that'll show you what else your customers are looking for. So you could track how your SEO is doing by what customers are searching for. So that's one way. Another way is Google Analytics. If you're a person who is very techie and data driven, I know my partner Monty is. Monty will be able to look at Google Analytics and see whereabouts his store is ranking for each keyword, okay? So again, you could have the best SEO, period, come soon, and you may not be able to ever find your listing because of this, all right? Love the new stats on Etsy. Yes, I do too. Real quick, Lord, do you pay the same things in general store and niche stores? Yes, I'll get to my opinion about general and niche stores here in just a second, just basically what I've been testing. And I found some interesting things about that. So, from what I just told you, you're going to be very frustrated. You know, how am I going to be able to tell if I'm ranking good, if I'm doing my good SEO? You know, what about my keywords? How am I going to get in front of customers if I'm not going to soon be able to find my listings at all, besides looking at Etsy rank? Well, there's some things you can do. Okay. Continue using relevant keywords in your titles and tags. Etsy has also said recently in Forum and their official news that if you do not put relevant tags in your relevant keywords in your tags and titles, they will bury the search, and they might bury your whole store. You know, I haven't seen this personally happen, but I try to use as many relevant keywords in my titles and tags as I can. Okay. Another way is to still have matching titles and tags. Now, one of the things I've been doing is I've been putting the title of my shirt or title of my mug first, and then some keywords afterwards. You may do something a little bit differently, but in my tags, okay, what I do is I don't put the name of the shirt or the name of the mug in my tags, because the likelihood of someone looking for that specifically, that phrase, is slim to none. What I do it for is for Google, because in testing and using Etsy rank, there's a place on Etsy rank that shows you at the bottom of Etsy rank. I don't know if it's just for the pro version. I have the pro version. I highly suggest it. I'll put it in the description of the video afterwards. But it shows you exactly how your Etsy listing will look in a Google description. And I want to have the wording of my shirt in my Google description, because when people are going down, they read the first two lines. Usually most people read the first two sentences of a listing and move on. So that's why I put it at the beginning of my Etsy title. Okay. Another thing you can do is make sure you fill out everything you can in your Etsy store. Okay. Recently, Etsy announced, if you looked at it in the bottom of your store, it says Etsy policies. And when the new European settings came out, where you had to talk about cookies and tell everybody you're sharing your information, Etsy has announced that you need to fill out that information per Etsy policies and have that on your store. That will be a factor in ranking for your store. Okay. So accurate attributes. You want to fill out as many attributes as you can on your Etsy listings. Now, do you have to do it for materials? Materials, I have not found have done that, unless you're offering something that's like wood or metal, but it couldn't hurt. So as many attributes as you can, you need to fill out on your Etsy store. So about section is very important, and the attributes are very important. Okay. Policy template. The Etsy does have a policy template for the new European standards as far as saving information. I forgot the acronym. I apologize. Okay. Frequent listing. This is one of the tips or tricks I'm going to give you after we get done talking about the new search. Okay. Frequent listings. Me and Monty always talk about relevancy. To keep your store relevant, you have to list frequently. Now, no one knows the exact number that you have to list. Okay. I don't even think there is one, but you need to pick whether you're going to do it once a week, once every other week, once a month. You need to list frequently, as frequent as you can, because that number, there's a couple reasons for that. You know, if people have favorited you before, favorited a shirt, or following your store, every time you list something new, they get a message. Okay. Not only that, when they log into Etsy and they scroll to the bottom, it'll show icons of your favorites' new stuff. Also, in the notifications at the top, they'll get a notification that your store has listed something new. So think about that. If you have a lot of favorites and a lot of followers, as you list things, they're getting these messages. So it's an attempt of getting them back in to buy something else. Okay. Teresa says, I've been filling out attributes in all my listings now. Exactly. You need to do that. All right. Another thing you can do that you're in control with is be as specific as you can with your categories. Now, this isn't mainly for us, but I left it in here because we're usually going to put it under t-shirts, right? Well, if you're doing jewelry, there's a lot of subcategories in the jewelry section. And so you want to make sure that you're as relevant and as targeted in as your categories as you can. If you're in mugs and you're doing mugs, make sure you niche it down to ceramic mugs or steel mugs, or as specific as you can be in your category, okay? Because that makes you more relevant. All right. Something else you can do is Etsy is pushing fast processing times and fast shipping times. Etsy is trying to compete with Amazon, and because of that, they're rewarding stores that have fast shipping times and fast processing times. Now, we can't control what our print-on-demand choice of platform fulfilling do, how they ship it out, how fast they ship it out, but we can make it as short as possible. And there's places in Etsy where you can change that. You can create a new shipping profile, a custom shipping profile, and you can change that from 3 to 5 days, 1 to 3 days, and do fast shipping. Okay. Offer updates so people can, if they want it the next day or 2-day, you have that as options. Okay. The other one is low shipping. Etsy really wants the lowest amount of shipping costs possible. If you can offer free shipping or you can experiment with free shipping, that's good. That's not going to work for everybody, but the standard right now Etsy has is 5. So if nothing else, I would go into shipping profiles and I would create a custom shipping profile, add all your listings, and if you have to, put it down to $4.50, $4.75, $3, whatever you can do to lower the shipping. And Etsy has promised to give weight in search to people who have lower shipping costs. All right. All right. So what other kind of clues can we give to get our listing seen? Okay. Another thing you can do is in your description, give a short description, 1 or 2 sentences about what your item is. All right. Now, here's a trick, because if you use Etsy Rank, you're going to see exactly how Google writes your listing, how it shows up on Google. I used to copy my title and put my title again in the first and second sentences of the description. I also used to just say what the shirt is and then a short sentence. I don't do that anymore because it kind of looks redundant. If your title in blue on Google is I love dogs and wine shirt, all right, and on your description, you have the first sentences as saying I love dogs and wine shirt, it's going to look repetitive and people are going to see that, and it just doesn't look right in my opinion. So if I were you, in my first 2 sentences of the description, which are integral for Google, I would sit there and write, hey, this funny dog shirt is great for people who love dogs, puppies. Kind of treat it like you would your first bullet of merch by Amazon, or just describe what the shirt is. I wouldn't say what the title is again. And again, if you have Etsy Rank and you haven't seen this, scroll to the bottom, see how it shows your listings show up on Google. And you know, Google is a big driver of traffic to Etsy. So that's another way we can be making sure that our Etsy SEO is working, okay? Another way is small niche keywords, okay? We have the tendency to want to get the big sexy keywords that are competitive, but another way we can control our Etsy SEO is by niching down as much as possible. Granted, yes, you want to get in there with something that has 5,000 search results, but maybe use 1 or 2 keywords with that. You know, if there's 300 people searching for dog wine shirts, then you're still going to have 300 people searching for that. And maybe one or two of them will snag up your listing. And the likelihood of you ranking better for that is better than the 5,000. All right. All right. Also, another thing is photos in action. All right. And Mia Monty's book, Etsy Print on Demand Success. Okay. We offer a way to show you how to do flat mock-ups. Most people either do flat mock-ups or they do realistic mock-ups, okay? And that's usually a personal preference. I used to do flat mock-ups. Now I do realistic mock-ups. But another thing that is scoring shops points in search is by having your shirt or your mug or whatever you're selling and a realistic action. Okay. And there's sites like placeit.com. You can even, have your friends do a picture. You just need to show it actively in life, not just a flat mock-up by itself or a realistic mock-up by itself, just flat on the screen. Show somebody wearing it, doing something, skateboarding, buying coffee, sitting down at the table, reading the newspaper. It makes it makes your listing more relevant to real life, okay? Instead of just like catalog-y. All right, so that's something that I found in the forums that a lot of people are saying is Etsy's going more towards, that's why they have the whole 10 photos. It used to be just to show the different angles, but things are evolving. And so like your first photo is the mock-up. Your second photo maybe is the sizing chart. And then photos after that, they want to see a few of them of what your design or what your product looks like in action. All right. That's another one. Free shipping. We did it. We did a big thing about free shipping. So that's why all these reasons are ways you can get in front of Etsy SEO for the moment. And like I said, it's the new AI that's messing everything up. And in the long run, I think this is going to be a good thing. It's going to end up having an even playing field because as long as you're relevant and you're doing good SEO, good relevant titles and tags, then each customer is going to see your listing depending on all the variety of things and attributes that we said before. So why it can be frustrating that you can't physically see anymore, or you won't be able to physically see where you're ranking. If you have Etsy rank, that's a way of doing it. But just know, if you know you're doing good SEO and you're trying to follow by the rules and give the customers what the information they need, you're going to rank. The customer that needs it and wants it is going to be placed in front of them. And that's what we want. That's what the SEO is about, right? Is getting our products in front of people for them to buy it. And I think eventually this is going to be a good thing, okay? Let me answer a couple questions before I go to some of the other Etsy tips and tricks I wanted to get to. All right, let's see. I've had a crochet shop since 2011, journal store. Yes, I see that. Does international need to be free too? I do not do international free because depending on where they come from and where it's shipping to, it could be a momentous cost and lost on profit. Most of my profit is around $9 to $14 per shirt. And you could have $8 to $9 or more for shipping for international. So I do not leave international as free, just domestic shipping. Okay. Now I wanted to go on to something different, right? I talked about one of the biggest things you can do to make sure you're relevant is to list frequently. Well, I have a new job and I'm finding it harder to do the things I did before because of time constraints. And especially with Etsy, the more frequent you list, the better odds of you placing in search. Okay. And this has been proven over and over, not just by me, not just by Monty, but many people in the community. Ask any top seller, the more frequently you list, the more relevant Etsy makes your shop and search. Plus, you still get a small boost in search rankings for the first few days to a week when you list something. All right. Now, I hear people all the time say, I'm just overwhelmed. I see some of these people listing every day. They say they're listing every day. I have this responsibility. I only have this amount of time off. Well, all of us, even though we have different schedules and different circumstances, all of us have some free time to do stuff. Right? Now, how would you go about being able to list every day or twice a week or every other week like you want to? So what I would suggest to do is, a lot of people, and what I used to do is I would get a day off and go, oh my gosh, I got a list of Etsy. And I would get on there and I would frantically list 10, 12, 20, 100 designs. And I'd be like, great. But then I realized I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm going to get good rankings for that day and boost on those products. But what am I going to do after next week? I'm not going to be able to keep up that. So what I started doing and seeing a big influx in search on my store is I started putting things in draft mode. So draft mode is a big winner for me, I think, because you can list 50 Etsy items on that day that you have off. You're hustling. You put up 50 Etsy listings. Don't make all of them live. Not only will you save on the budget, I know it's only 20 cents, but instead of putting them all live that day, why not choose 5 and put the rest in draft? And then let's say you want to do it every other day, then 2 days from now, you don't have to stress. You already have those 2 ready, or those 5 ready, and you hit live on those 5, and then you pay the 20 cents. And then 2 days later, hit it again on 5 more. And this way you're able to list frequently without overburdening yourself. Again, I don't know what you have going on in your life, but sometimes it's hard to constantly list as much as you want or as much as you think you should to get that boost and keep that boost with your shop being searched. So that's one of my tricks or tips for you, is to, depending on the amount of time you have, do a whole bunch of them, or as many as you can, all right, during the time that you have available. And don't stress about it. Put them in draft. List a couple of them, put them in draft, and move on. Now, let's say next week you haven't listed all of them. Well, now you have more time to create more listings and add those to the queue. And you can either add more to live next time, or you could keep going up with it, and you don't have to stress yourself out about keeping your Etsy store relevant. All right. Any stats on what time of day is best to upload? Not really. It all depends. I mean, you're getting traffic. Etsy's getting traffic from all over the world. So I wouldn't say there's a best time to upload. Some people have seen really good results after 2 a.m. I've not really played around with that, kind of like the merch thing, kind of like when servers reset usually, but I haven't played around with that. Now, getting into general versus niche store. All right. What I'm going to say is probably going to be very unpopular, but this is what I've seen. I use Etsy Rank and I use Marmalade and a couple other things, and I look at some of the top sellers and I try to see what they're doing and try to replicate it as much as I can. Now, what I'm seeing is, in general, a general Etsy store will usually outperform a niche store. All right. Let me say it again. A general Etsy store will usually outperform a niche store. And there's a very good reason why. Most traffic to your listing, if you pay attention to the analytics in Etsy and other areas like Etsy Rank and Marmalade, you will see that most traffic either comes directly to your listing from inside Etsy or directly to your listing from Google itself. What does that mean? Well, that means is people aren't coming exactly to your store and then looking around. All right. People are searching for something specific and then going into your store, your listing, and they may either buy what they want, they may go to your store, or they may go somewhere else. Statistics show the more screens and more clicks a person does, the less likely they are to purchase anything. Now, what does that mean? Let's say you have a store of nothing but unicorns. All right. Now, the odds of that person finding your listing, going to your listing, deciding they don't want that, and then going to your store and looking at multiple different products is slim, because here's what's going to happen. They were looking up something on the internet. They thought they found what they wanted. They clicked on your listing. It took them to Etsy. They didn't like that, so they decided to look at the rest of your store. They may click on one or two other items and then hit the road. All right. So let's say you have 400 items in that unicorn niche store. That's a vast majority that will never be seen. All right. Now, look at a general store. Okay. A general store has a mix of niches or niches, however you want to say it. And again, most of the traffic is going to come from Etsy search directly to that listing, or from Google directly to that listing. By having more niches in a general store, you are leaving yourself open for more opportunities for sales. The other good thing about it is, generally, shirts and novelty items are impulse buys. People don't need them. They want them for a gift or something. So you have a general store now, and a person comes there to see a frog shirt. And then they see at the bottom on reviews a unicorn shirt. They may buy now a frog and a unicorn shirt because, hey, they wanted a frog shirt for the birthday gift, but they see you have a unicorn shirt and they're going to buy that for themselves. All right. So, and if they go to your store, you have a good selection of different things that will make them look. I know my wife is one of those. She goes down the rabbit hole. She'll click on something and she'll see she likes it, and then something else will catch her eye and she'll click on that and she'll click on that. If you have a general store, you have multiple opportunities to entice a customer to pay and buy something. If you have a niche store, then they're just going to keep seeing the same of each niche. Okay. And they may buy one or they may skedaddle. Now, there's a caveat to this. If you're doing promoted listings, or you're relying on Etsy search or Google traffic itself to find you, that's what this entails. If you have dabbled in Shopify, or you have your own website, then you want a niche store. If you are driving most of the traffic to your Etsy store yourself via paid traffic outside of Etsy, or landing pages, or your own other website, however you're driving traffic, email lists, if you're driving your traffic from your fan base to your Etsy store, then your niche store will work. Okay. Because you have a fan base, people who are actively looking for your niche and want it. So then you drive them to your store, and then you have a plethora, a big selection of things that will entice them. So if you're not driving outside traffic to Etsy, I would suggest doing a general store. If you are driving outside traffic, then a niche store is the way to go. Does that make sense? All right, great idea about putting into drafts. All right, let's see what else I have for you. Promoted listings. I wanted to talk a little bit about promoted listings, okay? I do promoted listings, and I know Monty, my partner, does promoted listings and Google Shopping ads, okay? And I know people who have done good, and I know people who have done bad with both. I personally do promoted listings. There's somebody I've been following that this person does $1 a day, and they do 1 penny per click, and they've been doing okay. They've been finding like 30% conversion, but they're paying 1 penny a click. All right. So you can do as much as you want or as low as you want. A lot of these stores you're finding right now in this transition of with the AI, they're getting a lot of sales, but they're doing it because they're marketing. They're either sending traffic from outside or they're paying a lot of money on promoted listings. There are 2 stores that I follow that they've got to be paying $300 to $400 a day on promotions. And with Etsy Rank, they have a competition checker. And let's say Zebra Tees is one of the biggest Etsy stores. And let's say you want to see how Zebra Tees is doing. It'll show you how many sales Zebra Tees has gotten today. And you could see some of these stores, and they just have like 100, 200, 300 sales per day. And then you look up their keywords and you see it. Almost everything that they have is on an ad. All right. So don't get discouraged if you're seeing someone you're following or you're trying to emulate or you're trying to figure out how they're doing and they're selling a bunch. They're more than likely pushing a lot of money to ads. My goal is to one day have a Shopify store based on my niche brand in Etsy shop. There are some people that I have followed in the past that have done just that. What they did was they drove traffic from outside to their Etsy store. And when they got such a big, they got, I think, like 20, 30,000 people in their fan base, they moved from Etsy to Shopify. All right. So it's a good bridge. Etsy is a good bridge to Shopify if you have a fan base. All right. I only do $1 a day too. Is that too low? You're not going to get as many conversions. You're not going to get as many views as somebody who's doing $5 a day or $10 a day. But $1 a day is just your budget. Okay. What really controls how many views and stuff you get is how competitive you are. So let's say you're at 1 cent. Okay. And everybody else is doing 15 cents or 20 cents. The people who have the highest click money percentage are going to get more views. Okay. Because Etsy wants that money. They want that advertising money. But when their budget's all spent out, you'll show up now on the ads. So that all depends. It's all a game. It depends on how you want to do this, Teresa. You know, if you're doing $1 a day and you're doing 10 cents per click, and I'm doing 25 cents per click and $10, you probably won't show up until I run out of money. But then when I run out of money, you're going to show up because you're the one who has a budget remaining. Does that make sense? All right. So here's another thing to tell y'all how to do things. Etsy is getting more and more friendly for social media. All right. So inside your Etsy settings, you can click. It's very easy to have things set up with Twitter, with Instagram, or with Pinterest. All right. Now, I didn't say Facebook. You're right. I didn't say Facebook on purpose because Facebook is a whole nother beast by itself. There are some people that I talk to that say Facebook is God and they do tons of money with Facebook. But by and large, most people are frustrated with Facebook and not seeing the results they want to see. So pick one: Instagram, Twitter, or Pinterest. Inside Etsy, if you connect your social media account with Etsy, okay, let's say it's Pinterest, because that's what I use. There is a button that you can push when you list that item that you press the button and it pushes it over to your Pinterest. That is a very quick and easy way to get to post your listing to a social media. Now, things like Tailwind, Board Booster, Later, all these different softwares, they are better. But if you just want to get it out there and start getting organic traffic and views on your products, It's as simple as connecting inside Etsy your Pinterest, your Twitter, or your Instagram. The reason why I say only pick one is you don't want to get overwhelmed. We have enough stuff we do right now. Those three are the biggest to me is Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Instagram, I would say, is the best right now, okay? But choose one, and every time you list a new product, click on show on my Instagram, show on my Pinterest, and type a couple seed keywords in there, and boom, you've now posted it up to Etsy and you've posted it up to social media. All right. I was actually going to do that. There you go. Get the book. Monty World just put it there. That the book we did has some videos and some and written and video portions of how to succeed on Etsy. This is just some things that are going on new, and I'm really wanted to do this because a lot of people seem very frustrated, and I don't want you to give up on Etsy because it's getting exciting, and I think more and more stuff are coming that's going to be really good for sellers. I think it's really the wave of the future. You know, merch is still good. People still swear by Cafe Press and other things, but Etsy is the way to go. Let's see. I'll test it out and raise it, especially closer to Black Friday. Yeah, test it out. That's the best you can do. Is test things out. So again, if you're frustrated with Etsy and not being able to know if you're ranking or finding your keyword, your listings ranking, it's all because of the new algorithm. Okay, just keep plugging away, doing what you know how to do. Be relevant. Put your best keywords first. All right. Don't repeat. Here's another thing. Don't repeat if you have at all possible. Don't repeat keywords. Okay. Let's say you build a really good title and you have tons of extra keywords, then put those keywords in your tags. Okay. Something like for teachers or funny sayings. Don't throw them out, that list of keywords you did in your research. If you can, and you have extra space in your tags, put them in your tags. All right. Or put them in your description because you might get seen and ranked by Google. I'm doing better on Etsy than merch right now. Yeah, I'm doing better on Etsy right now too. A lot of people are doing better on Etsy than merch right now. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any questions, please list them out there. Again, we're starting up this channel. Again, we're going to have lots of things for you, tips, tricks about print-on-demand platforms, discussions, entrepreneurial lifestyle, you name it, we're going to try to bring it to you. Reviews on tools, we're going to try to do it. If it's out there and it can help either the YouTube community or the Mafia community, then we're going to do it. All right. That's what we plan on doing. And this is just the first of many. Okay. So I hope this helped a lot of people. If it helped you, you like the information, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We also run a group called Print on Demand Mafia. It's a Facebook community. A lot of great people in there that are dedicated to helping everybody succeed. You know, Mafia is a family style organization, and that's how we do things. We want to help everyone succeed and reach their goals. Okay. So let's see. I have problems coming up with enough tags without repeating. All right. So Teresa, look at synonyms. I almost said cinnamon. Synonyms, okay? Look up synonyms. Look up antonyms. You can do negative keywords, you know. Look up, go to Google search bar and type in your saying or your niche and scroll to the bottom. And it says, also see this. There's other tools you can use like keywords everywhere. And it'll give you a list of other things. You just want to have things relevant to what your listing is. Or go into Etsy itself, Teresa, and find something that's like your product. And maybe they have some keywords or tags that could be relevant to your listing. So there's tons of places to come up with different things. Does Etsy punish stores for using the same keywords for a similar listing? No. Etsy has not said that they will punish people for the same keywords even repeat it over and over in the same listing, right? They're just saying you don't have to. Now, what you can get in trouble for is if you have multiple stores, do not promote one store with the other store. Do not duplicate listings. I have 3 stores. There's some people I know that have 4, 5, and 6 stores. And it becomes really hard because if Etsy shuts down one of those stores, they shut down them all. They have a no tolerance policy. 3 strikes, you're out. They shut down everything. So if you have multiple stores, be careful. Do not cross list or anything like that because you will get in trouble. All right. You can have Etsy wants you to test things out, and they have told people in the past you can put up the same product multiple times with different listing information so you can test which one does better. All right. They want you to test. They're okay with that. They know we're going to do that. Have I done that? Nah. I want to see how my products do. You know, I'll test things out on like merch and stuff like that, but I've never really duplicated listings on my Etsy store, but you will not get in trouble for duplicating keywords. All right. All right. So like I was saying, I'll put a link to the Print on Demand Facebook community, Print on Demand Mafia Facebook community at the bottom. We'll also have some listings and some sites and courses eventually that we recommend, and we'll put those at the bottom. If you have any questions, I will get to the questions and comment on them as fast as I can. And this is going to be posted for the people who are in the Mafia community. This will also be posted in the Facebook group, and also will stay up on here on YouTube. So again, if you like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. My name is Jason, the Shirt Father. Till next time, good luck.